Hello and welcome to our bonus session that we're going to have on Tuesday, which will be our review, recap, and next steps. So, how to maintain and grow even further in your new path of living in alignment with who you've realised you really are, the essence of you. I thought I'd give a quick little share on something that's happened over this past weekend that I feel relates to this journey, and so maybe it might in some way for you too. So I had my haircut and colour last weekend, which I wasn't happy with, so I let the weekend go to then be able to take the emotion out of it. I made a new appointment so that then my hairdresser could correct the issue, which happened yesterday. And the cool thing that came out of that was not only that he was grateful that I did say something and was honest and that he could correct it, and we had a good laugh and that was fine. Then I also met the woman next to me who was having her hair done, and she's going to contact me to possibly work with me. So that was a nice added bonus, which I kind of feel like is the universe saying, yes, when you're speaking up and not being horrible about it, but just being honest, that good things come from that, essentially. And the other thing is, you might notice how it's quite empty in here. So this is going to be the room. This is my office. This is going to be the room that Langdon's mum and auntie are going to be staying in while they're here for a month from South Africa, and they arrive in about a month's time. So just going through the process of shifting things around because there's going to be a bed in here. I'm going to go into Langdon's office for that month. Just so that they have the nicest room, I think, the nicest spare room. So I'm taking this as an opportunity to clear out, to do things differently, and kind of really have that spring clean. And it's quite a deep spring clean because I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff that I don't need. So again, looking at things as opportunities rather than hassles or just those things that get you down. So paying attention, setting your attention, paying attention ties in with that. Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of this recap week. So I'm going to quickly go through those 6 elements and just to give the flavour of what we're going to do. So one was our identity. So who I am, the essence of me. It's the what am I changing based on who I've discovered that I really am, to help me live in better alignment with who I really am, which changes how I see the world and also how I interact with the world around me. So that when you're coming from alignment, like I said about the hairdresser, I wasn't being bitchy or I wasn't being nasty. I just figured it's better for everybody if we just adjust it so that it's what I want, and that then I go back again, and that I'm just happy because I'm allowed to ask for that, especially if I'm spending a lot of money. Then 2 is my relationships, where I spend my time, who I spend it with, where I work, I live, the places I frequent the most. And as that saying goes, I am the sum of the 5 people I spend the most time with. It's really powerful. So we talked about how sometimes our habits get stuck, or they become habits that we didn't really want in the first place just because it sort of fits in with those people that we've been around. And maybe we've even moved on from those people or that work situation or whatever, but we've just kept that habit going. So going into that, so the question on that I would be asking is then, what and how am I changing in regards to the people and places in my life based on what's important to me and who I am? And then 3 is basically food and water, our nutrition. How do we nourish ourselves? So how I nourish myself in the amount of food and water, the types, and also the timings as well is really important too. And also nourishing myself when I feel in the right state to nourish myself. So when I was writing down the word stress today, so we want to eat and drink and all those things when we're not stressed. If we flip that word stressed, change the letters around, is rested. We want to be eating and drinking and nourishing ourselves when we're rested. And that's when the vagal exercises can help, and they can be really simple. Even that one of just like windscreen wiper with your tongue on the inside of your mouth just before you eat, just to help to switch on that connection from your brain to your gut to say, yes, I am ready to receive. Then we've got our hormones and gut health. So I know this was a bit of a challenging week because there's a lot of content and I'm working to refine that now. So essentially, when we look at those two factors, gut and hormones. So for gut, when it's imbalanced, it could be because of pathogens, and that influences our appetite, our cravings, and those kind of gut symptoms, which may be things like bloating, gas. It could be from small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is short name is SIBO. Could be a candida overgrowth. It could be parasites, which often is linked to low iron and low B vitamins as well, just to mention that. Or it could be for your gut, it could be leaky gut, which then can create food intolerances, allergies, and other immune issues, maybe autoimmune disease. So there are a couple of ways that the gut, when that's imbalanced, can then have a knock-on effect. And no amount of food changes or the amount of food changes doesn't really seem to make any difference. So that's when you may need some more help. Then you've got the hormone side. So there's, as I mentioned, there were a lot of different hormones that we don't necessarily think of. So you've got cortisol and adrenaline, which are your stress hormones. On the flip side, you've got melatonin, which that kicks in the evening to help us to sleep better. Then we've got your sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. And we talked about how cortisol, it's made from progesterone. So it's a double whammy because our progesterone is our nice calming, mood stabilizing hormone. So if we can lower our stress levels periodically through the day, rather than wait until Saturday and do a meditation, just in those little spurts during the day, just to get the average of your stress levels down, can help not only with your gut health, but it can also help with your hormonal health and with things like peri/postmenopausal symptoms, with your sleep, with how you react around people, so many other things. You've also got leptin and ghrelin, which are your appetite hormones. So one increases your appetite, one decreases it. And then you've also got thyroid, which if you have low thyroid, then that's going to slow your metabolism down, so and make you sluggish. So just remembering those things, and I'll go through this a little bit. I'm not going to go too deep on Tuesday evening, but it's more going to be answering your questions, I hope. And then number 6 was your soul. So connection to your spirit, to the universe, to whatever you believe in, whatever you might like to kind of go down that rabbit hole, maybe to discover more, to work out what you believe even. So how you make sense of your life, why are you here, what am I here to learn, to share, to give, to receive, and to be. So when you know those things, what gives you meaning and what brings you joy and gratitude, then that can help you to live a life more deeply, and it can make it easier to ride the waves of the ups and downs of life that we have.